awards. But first up, we're going to look at the issue of homeopathic medicine here in Canada. There was a recent report coming out from the Centre for Inquiry that did some testing on homeopathic medicine, and they had some concerns about it. And on our show, of course, we like to hear from all sides. So we're going to hear from the Centre for Inquiry as well as the Homeopathic Medical Association of Canada. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest with the Centre for Inquiry in Vancouver. We welcome Ethan Clow. Ethan, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Good to have you on. And also on the line from Toronto with the Homeopathic Medical Association of Canada, Iman Navab. Iman, thanks for your time. Hello, Iman, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, welcome to the program to both of you. I wanted to start off with just a little bit of a backgrounder first with Iman when we look at homeopathic medicine, because for a lot of people out there, they might not know exactly what it is. What is it, Iman?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Homeopathic remedies and the homeopathic medicine is founded by a German physician. His name is Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. Based on the philosophy of like cures like. Now, like cures like was first founded by the Hippocrates, the father of medicine. And Dr. Samuel Hahnemann was the one who actually developed the system of homeopathy based on like cures like. Take, for example, coffee. If you have too much coffee for sensitive individuals that is not a habit for them to drink too much coffee every day, and if you give them a strong cup of coffee, when the person becomes very agitated, nervous, anxious. So if you take that coffee and convert it into homeopathic remedy, which there is a procedure to that, and then give it to the person who is having the similar symptoms of nervousness, anxiousness, and hyperactivity, you will see that the law of like cures like will apply here, and it will help the individual who is suffering from the similar symptoms.
So a lot of it, just doing a little bit of research myself, it's basically homeopathic medicine is diluted medicines, correct?
Dilution is part of the process. It's not the only dilution, because the reason that we do dilution in homeopathy is because we want to get away from the actual raw material, which makes sense. If you want to get rid of the raw material, you need to dilute the substance of the actual crude material to get to the energetic level.
And is it successful? Does it work in your mind?
It's working for 200 years. For more than 200 years, people are using homeopathy. Keep in mind that the royal family, Queen Elizabeth, Pope, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and they were using it, and they are using it right now, and successfully. We're using homeopathy for plants, on agriculture. We use homeopathy for animals and children, and it works.
Okay, let's bring the Centre for Inquiry into this. Ethan Clow, rather. Of course, he's based in Vancouver, the director of the centre there. Ethan, talk about this experiment that your group helped conduct when it came to homeopathic medicine.
Well, we wanted to test whether or not homeopathy has any active ingredient, any effect when taken. So we decided to get some different kinds of homeopathy, and we essentially overdosed on homeopathy to see if it would have any effect on us. And if there was an active ingredient, if there was a plausible mechanism for it to have an effect, we should have all suffered serious symptoms. Fortunately for us, it didn't, and we all walked away from it fine. But it's a demonstration to show that if this medical product actually has something in it, it's not being very effective.
Well, what do you mean you went out of your way to overdose on this homeopathic medicine? And what was it exactly that you were taking?
Well, I took several containers of homeopathic medicine for sleeplessness. Others took homeopathic medicine for cold and flu symptoms. Others took arsenic and other toxic tinctures designed to fight things like diarrhea and upset stomach. And the reason why we overdosed is to make a point. If you overdosed on regular science-based medicine, you would suffer serious consequences because there's an active ingredient and a plausible mechanism for that ingredient to interact with your body. Whereas homeopathy doesn't have an active ingredient and there's no plausible mechanism for it to interact with you.
So after you did that, did you also measure what exactly you were taking as well? What was the compounds and whatnot?
Well, the one that I was taking was a dilution of 30C. And so for people who don't know, the 30C preparation means that it's been diluted by a factor of 100, 30 times in a row. So the chance, for instance, that there was one molecule of the original substance in what I took is extremely small. At even a 24C dilution, you would have to drink all the water on Earth to get a molecule of the active ingredient. So we're talking about an extremely small possibility that you can even get one tiny molecule of what the ingredient is supposed to be.
Iman, I wanted to ask you, when you hear this experiment and what they found, they were attempting to almost overdose on these substances, and it sounds like obviously they didn't. And looking at what these tinctures actually comprised of, what do you have to say to this? Because to me it looks like it's quite damning towards the homeopathic industry.
Oh, not at all, not at all. The thing that I have to say is that they adopt the wrong methodology of experimenting the homeopathic remedy because they are looking at it from the wrong angle. It's just by performing a lab test by using the wrong equipment. The rational mind can go far beyond the idea of a molecule, right? And we are not detecting molecules. We are not looking for a raw material in homeopathic remedies. That is one of the reasons why we adapt the methodology of dilutions, because we want to get rid of these material or these molecules that you can detect on the microscope. Because if you go far beyond the idea of molecule, what you have is the energy, the quantum physics of the elements of the nature of what you have around you. And if you deny that quantum physics, if you deny that the consciousness, that energy healing of the material, then it's just as if you deny that the Earth moves around the sun, and the same problem that Galileo had, convincing people that Earth moves around the sun, and they said no, that's not possible. Well, with homeopathic remedies, we are diluting and do potentization to basically get rid of the material, the raw material. And if the example that I used at the beginning in introduction of the kafia, I'm going to use another example. Let's say arsenic. Arsenic is a poisonous heavy metal. So if you have even in a minute dose of the actual arsenic in your food, it's poisonous. So if you if arsenic gets into your body, a healthy body, you develop vomiting, diarrhea, similar symptoms to someone who is suffering from food poisoning. So what we do, we take arsenic and we convert it into homeopathic remedy through dilution, succussion, and potentization. And then we give it to someone who is suffering from similar symptoms. If you have someone who is food poisoned, they also have similar symptoms to someone who is poisoned by arsenic, which is vomiting, diarrhea. So it works on a person who is sick. It's not going to work on someone who is healthy. Meaning that if I am a healthy person, and if I take homeopathic arsenic, let's say 30 CH, and take it for no purpose, obviously my body will not show any reaction to it, or there will be no overdose, because I am not suffering from those symptoms. It's the wrong provings. We are not dealing with milligram or grams or micrograms here. For instance, if you take aspirin, and we have aspirin for children dosages, and we have aspirin for adult dose. let's say we have aspirin 25 milligram. So if you take 2 of it, it would make it 50 milligrams because you're dealing with the raw material, and it is detectable under microscope. You can actually add them up, and there is a limit to it that you know that if you go above these recommended dosage limit, you can overdose on aspirin, which will cause toxicity. This policy, this law, does not apply into homeopathic remedies. The next time that a group wants to try the efficacy of homeopathic remedies, they should try it on someone who has those symptoms. If you need to try to see if one remedy of homeopathy works or not, give it to someone who is actually suffering from the disease.